A reading from the book of Sirach. If you choose, you can keep the commandments. They will save you. If you trust in God, you too shall live. He has set before you fire and water. To whichever you choose, stretch forth your hand. Before man are life and death, good and evil. Whichever he chooses shall be given him. Immense is the wisdom of the Lord. He is mighty in power and all-seeing. The eyes of God are on those who fear him. He understands man's every deed. No one does he command to act unjustly. To none does he give license to sin. The word of the Lord.
Than silver or gold. Lord, I love your commands. Lord, I love your commands. Let your love comfort me according to your promise. Your compassion gives me life, your law is my delight. Lord, I love your commands. Lord, I love your commands.
A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. Brothers and sisters, we speak a wisdom to those who are mature, not a wisdom of this age, nor of the rulers of this age who are passing away. Rather, we speak God's wisdom, mysterious, hidden, which God predetermined before the ages for our glory, and which none of the rulers of this age knew. For, if they had known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. But as it is written, what eye has not seen and ear has not heard, and what has not entered the human heart, what God has prepared for those who love him. This God has revealed to us through the Spirit. For the Spirit scrutinizes everything, even the depths of God. The word of the Lord.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, Lord. Lord, be in my mind, on my lips, and in my heart. Jesus said to his disciples, I tell you, unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. You have heard that it was said to your ancestors, you shall not kill, and whoever kills will be liable to judgment. But I say to you, whoever is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you, everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Again, you have heard it said to your ancestors, do not take a false oath, but make good to the Lord all that you vow. But I say to you, do not swear at all. Let your yes mean yes, and your no mean no. Anything more is from the evil one. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Worshipers, come on down. Jesus counsels us today to look within, to look at what drives us, what motivates us, what triggers our deeds. A woman who was a volunteer helping at an assisted living facility took two of the elderly residents out to run some errands and visit some friends. It was a cold winter day and darkness came early. As she was driving through downtown Jacksonville, she had got a flat tire. Pulled over to check it out. The two elderly people just huddled in the cold together in the car. And as she was checking out the flat, two big men approached and offered to help. They were very rough-looking, likely street people. The elderly people in the car were not only cold, now they were also scared. But what could she do? Just as she was ready to thank them, a young guy came up with a very heavy Spanish accent And he said, "Don't worry about anything. I'll take care of you." And he started directing the two men to get out the tools and get the flat tire changed. Meanwhile, she called the assisted living facility and told them not to worry, that she had a flat tire, was getting fixed, and they would be there. And oddly, she wasn't worried at all. Within 20 minutes, the tire was changed, the tools were put away, and thank heaven, even though it had never been used before, the spare was filled with air. She didn't have hardly any cash on her, but she took out $2 for each for the two men that helped, and they said, no, it's okay. We're happy to help, and walked back into the darkness. She turned to the Spanish guy, and he said, "See how it is? When you really need it, God sends angels to help you." And he also walked back into the darkness. When she got back in her car, the elderly couple said, "That was a miracle." And as she tells the story, she says that for weeks after that, she just walked around feeling the most blissful spirit. In today's second reading from St. Paul, he tells us only those with the wisdom to trust God understand what's going on. That God has had a mysterious plan. A plan so foreign to anything any human being could think up. A plan to, in love, go to the cross himself in the person of Jesus Christ in order to win back the love of sinful human beings. In fact, St. Paul says that if those self-righteous authorities who crucified Jesus had known or understood God's plan, they would have let Jesus live. But no. He says, we who believe, we who know Jesus Christ, we have the wisdom to know that he comes. He understands us. He loves us. He rescues us even from ourselves. And so, these two little boys are about to enter into this wisdom which will be up to the parents and all of us to share with them. A wisdom to trust God. That in any and all circumstances, they have no reason to be afraid. God is with them. Jesus has come to their rescue. And for the two boys being baptized, and for Big Brother Connor, that's good news.